Hi, I'm Susie Q. Public, just an ordinary American trying to make sense of what's going on. And today I have a couple of better questions about something that's breaking a lot of hearts and honestly making a lot of us angry.
You couldn't say no to her. That was Sheridan. She loved people. She was positive, enthusiastic, and full of life.
I should be planning her wedding, her college graduation, her bachelorette party, arguing with her about dresses, not standing here trying to figure out how to say goodbye to my baby sister.
Thank you for loving our girl, for seeing her, for celebrating her, and for reminding us that a life filled with love, like hers, leaves something that can never be taken away.
That was Sheridan Gorman's parents and sister at her memorial, an 18-year-old Loyola student full of life, walking with friends, killed by a 25-year-old illegal alien from Venezuela who had already been arrested and released. Here's what this actually means for everyday Americans. A young woman planning her future is gone. Her family is planning a funeral instead of a wedding. Who is actually affected? Families just like ours who did everything right. Why are certain decisions made that keep releasing people with criminal records back into our neighborhoods? DHS seems to be asking that question in their press release on the 29th. It reads, Jose Medina was previously released after an arrest for shoplifting in Chicago. Sheridan Gorman had her whole life ahead of her before this cold blooded killer decided to end her life. We are calling on Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago's sanctuary politicians to commit to not releasing this criminal illegal alien from jail back into American neighborhoods. That's a chilling thought that he could be released again. So, my question is, when did protecting illegal aliens become more important than protecting American families? Some people call this suicidal empathy, the idea that showing unchecked compassion for lawbreakers will eventually harm the people showing the empathy. But to me, an ordinary American, it feels more like murderous empathy. The politicians, academics, judges, and sanctuary officials pushing these policies don't lose their daughters or walk campus paths in fears. They have security and therefore zero personal risk. For them, it's virtue signaling. For us, it's deadly. Sheridan was just walking with friends. Does this make sense when innocent Americans are the ones who actually pay the price? Now let's look at how some leaders responded, because it gets even harder to watch.
It seems she might have that as they were just out, people go out to the beach all the time, right? And they go out on the pier, they walk around. So the kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person at the end of the pier unintentionally. We don't believe there is cause for broader community concern.
That was Democratic Chicago alderman calling Sheridan's murder wrong place, wrong time. The Gorman family pushed back hard. They said what Sheridan was doing that night, walking with friends near her campus, was normal. It was safe. It is what students do every day. We will not allow this to be dismissed as wrong place, wrong time. This was not random misfortune. This was a violent and preventable act. This isn't just one insensitive comment, it's a pattern. Officials blame the victim while the illegal alien, who shouldn't have been here, gets the benefit of the doubt. Who is actually affected? Everyday Americans going about normal lives. Here's my bigger question. If the people making these policies never face the consequences, why keep calling it suicidal empathy? They frame it as compassion or suicidal empathy for society, especially for the underprivileged. But let's be honest, it's murderous empathy for ordinary citizens, the elected officials and policymakers who keep pushing leniency, sanctuary policies, and the continual release of repeat offenders don't lose their daughters or walk campus paths in fear. They have security and no risk. Here's how the Gorman family framed it. We are gravely disappointed by the policies and failures that allowed this individual to remain in a position to commit this crime. When systems fail, whether through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, the consequences are not abstract. They are real, and in our case, they are permanent. And another parent dealing with real and permanent consequences is Joe Abraham.
And now, the father of another Illinois woman, Katie Abraham, killed last year in a hit and run that also involved an illegal immigrant, is speaking out. Joe Abraham is here with us. Thank you so much for being here. I remember talking to you before, and Joe, I know that your heartache continues. Why did you decide to speak out and speak up at this moment?
Well, so I had an op-ed on Fox last week, and basically explained that I knew this was going to happen, and I've been sort of for a year trying to get anyone to listen that we need to reassess and relook at our policies. That's what leadership is, and we don't have it in Illinois. So I take no satisfaction in that op-ed that I wrote for Fox News. It's heartbreaking. I know exactly kind of what they're going through right now. I understand the sleepless nights that they're going to have for months. I had that as well. Your mind plays these unbelievable tricks on you, particularly when you're trying to sleep. So I was just trying for a year now to give this warning, and there have been others outside of Sheridan. But Illinois, I know the media in Illinois is beholden to Governor Pritzker, his money, his access. So you don't hear a lot of it coming out of Illinois, but especially after last week's Senate hearing I was at, it's even more salt in the wound from Illinois leadership here.
Joe Abraham, a forever grieving father whose daughter Katie was killed last year in a hit and run by a drunk illegal alien. He's been warning for over a year that this exact tragedy would keep happening under Illinois' sanctuary policies. Even Democratic Senator John Fetterman has said we need a secure border and deport every criminal. Why won't more listen?
Joe, to underscore that, I want to play two pieces of sound for you and the audience. One is from the mayor of Chicago, the other, the governor of Illinois. Watch.
It's pretty straightforward. We have to end the assaults against working people. We have to end the assaults against immigrants and end these endless wars.
This has been a terrible tragedy, and I know that the Gorman family has suffered mightily. I agree, there have been real failures. Failure to have comprehensive immigration reform, a failure of the president to follow his own edict to go after the worst of the worst. It is the job of the federal government to go after immigration enforcement.
But these illegal criminal immigrants were the worst of the worst, and the city and the state will not cooperate with the president on this. As a tax-paying citizen, as a father grieving, how do you respond to both of them?
Well, first of all, Mayor Johnson, I won't respond. He's an unserious, sort of a silly figure, so I will not respond to anything he's got to say. But Governor Pritzker, it's really amazing to me how he can speak out of both ends of his mouth. So he nullifies federal immigration law. He fights and denigrates ICE and Donald Trump like you couldn't believe. He couldn't find a microphone where he couldn't talk about how these Gestapo and jackbooted thugs and secret police are here in Chicago. But now after this, he needs to deflect, and he does that. That's the best quality he's got. What he'll say now is they didn't do their job. I mean, the hypocrisy, it's not even, I don't even know what you call it. It's way beyond hypocrisy, because what he's saying now is, President Trump, can you please send back your secret police, your Gestapo, and your jackbooted thugs because you didn't complete the job the first time around. Oh, and by the way, the job that I fought tooth and nail against getting done. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's just, I don't know how Illinois voters see this person as anyone that should be reelected.
Or to run for president, which it seems to be something he wants to do.
Words matter. That's why I deliberately call them illegal aliens, not undocumented individuals or illegal immigrants. Legal immigrants follow the rules and enrich our country. Illegal aliens break them. Softening the language to something like illegal immigrant versus legal immigrant was deliberate. A tiny syllable difference that clouds the issue and makes it easier for those who want carte blanche for illegal aliens to confuse the public and protect bad policy. Just look at what happened at Sheridan's own school. The Loyola Phoenix student newspaper, and I apologize, I cannot say Loyola correctly, originally called the accused killer an illegal immigrant in their coverage. Within minutes, they apologized, changed the headline to Rogers Park resident, and said the accurate term didn't align with their values or AP style. Does this make sense? When even the victim's own campus paper feels pressured to soften the truth about her killer, who is actually affected? The families left behind, not the people editing the headlines. These aren't just headlines, these are real people. Let me show you a few and ask who is actually affected by these decisions? Sheridan Gorman, 18, Chicago, a vibrant Loyola student walking with friends on the pier at Toby Prince Beach near campus, murdered by an illegal alien from Venezuela in March 2026. Katie Abrams in Illinois, killed by an illegal immigrant in a hit and run. Her dad warned this would keep happening. Laken Riley, 22, assaulted and murdered by an illegal alien from Venezuela. Rachel Morin, Maryland, mother of 5, assaulted, then murdered by an illegal alien from El Salvador. Jocelyn Nungary, 12, Texas, assaulted and murdered by 2 illegal aliens from Venezuela. Stephanie Minter, 41, Virginia, a mother stabbed to death at a bus stop this February by illegal alien Abdul Jalaho. Oh, I probably murdered that name. My apologies. Who had over 30 prior arrests despite ICE flags. Irina Zaruska, 23, Ukrainian refugee in North Carolina, stabbed on a Charlotte light rail train by repeat offender DeCarlos Brown Jr. with at least 14 prior arrests who kept being released. Ordinary Americans and newcomers seeking safety, going about daily life, waiting for a bus, riding a train, walking near campus. Why are certain decisions made that keep putting them at risk? Does this make sense when the people pushing the policies never pay the price? Those are the questions I'm asking this week. Why are certain decisions made? Who is actually infected? And does it make sense? What do you think? Drop your take in the comments. I read every one. If you want more common sense questions the media won't ask, hit subscribe and ring the bell. I hope this encouraged you to think America, to ask your own better questions, and think for yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and God bless. Rachel Morin, Maryland, killed by an illegal alien from El Salvador.